Duke had no issues with Mount St. Mary's. Dion, I'm here at the Lenovo Center in the hallways, having just watched that game. No issues from the jump, as expected. Took care of business. I believe the final score was 93-48. Anything you saw in this game that surprised you?
Cooper Flagg played. Um, was that just from someone in the building? Was that as surprising to you guys in the building as it was to maybe those of us watching TV?
No, the fact he played was not surprising. The fact he started, I don't think was surprising. Scheyer had kind of been talking about that. I think the fact he looked totally normal
Yeah.
was maybe the most surprising thing. We He talked post game afterwards. I had quotes from both him and Jon Scheyer after the game. Um, there was a question that Flagg was asked about. I think the first time he went up for a dunk or came down, and he kind of fell down. If he felt like comfortable after that because his ankle had been tested, but he said he felt 100% confident coming into the game that it wasn't really an issue. He only played 22 minutes in this game, and the way the game played out with Duke having such a big lead played a role in that. They didn't need him to play down the stretch. But they asked Scheyer. Scheyer was asked about whether he wanted Flagg to play more than that, less than that, kind of what he wanted to do. And Scheyer said he was ready for him to play more. They have no concerns about his ankle going forward. I thought it was good to get him some tournament experience and playing a game like that, and that it was probably a good thing that it turned out the way it did, so he could experience it without there being a ton of pressure. But that goes for all the freshmen. They were not concerned about his ankle at all. So like, I think we can put that to bed. The storyline of Coop potentially being hurt, I think that's done.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. I mean, he definitely didn't look injured. The amount of minutes he played, obviously 22 isn't a large number, but he was second on the team in minutes played. So I feel
Right.
like when you look at it from that perspective, that's like, whoa, like they were definitely prepared for him to go into those 30s if it was going to be a close game. I'm not sure Duke ever thought like in preparation that this would be a close game, however.
No.
But clearly they were prepared for whatever with Coop. I mean, he is a superhuman athlete. And a sprained ankle for a superhuman athlete isn't always like the biggest injury. So, I mean, I guess some of that does make a little sense. But I mean, he was spectacular in this game, 14 points. Man hit a three
Yep.
that I don't know about you, but if I'm another team, would scare me. If that's just going to be a thing.
So there was a media member who was sitting near the Baylor coaches who were scouting, who, when that happened, said that the Baylor staff went, "Oh shit,"
Yeah.
like audibly.
I mean, that's an issue. By the
Yeah.
way, not just for college teams, for whoever doesn't get man in the NBA too. Like that's a problem. Because he
Yeah.
shot that with the utmost confidence too. Like there was no question he wanted to take it. The jumper looked very pure. He reminds me like so much of Derek Lively.
He's not the athlete, but his length and activity is very similar. Right.
And just where how his development's going too, right?
Yes.
Like Derek Lively
Yes.
couldn't necessarily shoot at Duke. Down the stretch, you saw like more glimpses, kind of like you see with Man gets to the NBA, the glimpses start to become more and more and more. And I'm very impressed with Man.
He's been phenomenal. I was impressed with Duke as an entirety in this game. We've done recaps for Houston as a one seed, kind of taking care of business and fully expected. I think you can build off of this performance more if you were Duke than anything like Houston did or anything Auburn did in their performance. Two turnovers for Duke, which is a huge thing because we've talked about the fact that there's no like true point guard on this team. Two turnovers. Tyrese Proctor shot the ball incredibly well. Everybody played, everybody contributed. Knipple flashed, what he can do. Sion James showed what he can do. Caleb Foster is now fully back in the fold, playing some actual rotation minutes off the bench productively. Like this was, do you want to get Malik Brown back? Like, but you didn't notice that necessarily in this game. You may not against Mount St. Mary's, but the things that translate, right? Taking care of the ball, not making the mental errors.
Yeah.
No worries there. Didn't make the mental errors. Making your open shots, did that. Not there. Playmaking, sharing the ball as a team, that was there.
Mhm.
Everything was like as it could have been scripted for Duke, I think, perfectly.
Yeah, I think well, one of the question marks with Shire Duke teams is I don't want to say necessarily the buy-in, but a little bit of the buy-in when it comes to Shire because that's a bit of the question mark with all these one and done teams, right? Is
Mhm.
once you get into March, how much are these guys bought in? I can't remember if I said this on the preview with you or if it no, it was on Card and I did a video about when at halftime when Shire said that called the team soft. And I said, like, I think this is Shire's first group that's truly his and the
Yeah.
shadow of Coach K is gone. And this performance only heightens my feeling on that. The shadow, like he was, yes, he was living in Coach K's shadow. He will forever, by the way.
Oh
But
yeah.
in the recruits' minds, he still was. Because some of those recruits, yes, Coach K gave a year advance. A lot of those guys probably wanted to play for Coach K. This is the first group, in my opinion, that is there solely for Shire, and no point in their recruitment did they were they looking into Coach K? Because 3 years ago, when they were freshmen or sophomores in high school, Coach K wasn't necessarily like we knew Coach K was gone. And I think
Right.
you see that with this group. Coop is his first guy, and the buy-in from this team is different than the previous two.
Why do we not view, is that the reason why we don't view Shire as being one of the nation's elite coaches just because he's taken after Coach K? Like, this is a guy who's in his third year.
Yeah.
He's got a one seed. He's won an ACC regular season title. He's won ACC tournament titles. He's been to the Elite Eight in year three. Like, you take that guy and put him on Texas, and we're talking about him like he's the second coming.
Right.
Are we like, is there, why are we not talking about Jon Scheyer as being one of the nation's truly elite coaches?
I think it's just Coach K's shadow is, and I think we're looking at it like, and yeah, Coach K probably does get a different result from the past two teams. Sure. Coach K has 40 plus years of coaching experience, and Shire was doing it for the first time. And to be, like I said, I do genuinely believe, specifically with that first group, there was definitely an element of like, yes, we knew Coach K was gone, but some of us still wish he was here.
Mhm.
Like that's kind of who we agreed to come play for. And yes, maybe we agreed to do it knowing he wouldn't be here, but still, nonetheless, like this is Coach K's Duke. The more we move away from that, the more success think Shire will see, and the more we will change the narrative around Shire. And I want to be the first one to do it. Listen, year two, Elite Eight, like
Yeah,
everyone's taking that. And
that
granted,
team
Duke
was
is a
not an Elite Eight caliber team based on talent either. Like, that was a team I thought was a first weekend and out kind of team.
and maybe the Paolo team, like where if you want to say you're frustrated by any Shire result, maybe the Paolo
Well,
team.
that was Coach K's last year.
Oh,
The
that's right.
the
That's right.
Paulo team that made the Final Four. That
That's
was
right.
Coach K's last year.
That's right. I just I mean the guy's very impressive. This is his first like real like his group, and I think they showcase that. I mean, how many one seeds are going to go out there and win by 60? And
Yeah.
how many guys, by the way, are going to get the unanimous number one overall pick to play on an injury against Mount St. Mary's? We're not going to give Shire enough credit for that.
He wasn't injured. He's fully healthy. He's fully healthy, Dion. That's the point I'm taking home or taking away from this game. I do think he also gets some of the Calipari treatment where it's like discrediting you for winning games because of all the talent that you have.
Mhm.
It's his job to get the talent too. Like,
Right.
that's a big part of the job. You could argue that's a bigger job than anything X and O that you do. Is getting the guys in the door. And all the other coaches wanted those guys. He beat
Right.
out Dan Hurley for Cooper Flagg, right? Like, that's part of this too. But you can't just have great teams and great talent. You have to actually mold it into something, and that's something Shire has done a really good job of doing. You're only going to see a little bit of that against Mount St. Mary's, but you saw everything you wanted to see in this
Yeah,
game.
I mean, I get it. So every level of basketball is different. When NBA coaches go, "Hey, I didn't have enough talent," like, and they get a ton of credit for winning games with talent around them, they don't necessarily have control over that talent. So, like, maybe like a Steve Kerr, I'll be like, "Yeah, sure." Like, he's been phenomenal with Steph. Can he do it without Steph? I don't know. At the college level, you have sole control over your
Right.
roster.
Right.
You should get the credit for building this roster. And if you don't build a good roster, we should also be like, well, what happened? Why didn't you build one? And I
Yeah.
think from that perspective, to like not give him credit for being better at recruiting, which is probably 50%, if not a larger percentage of the job, is crazy.
Yeah. It really is. It really is. Big win for Duke. We'll see them against Baylor in the second round. We have a full preview for that on the channel as well. So make sure you like and subscribe.
It is March, and that means that March Madness is upon us. And if you are looking for a place to play, Underdog Fantasy has you covered. Sign up and deposit using code SLEEPERS, that's code SLEEPERS, to receive up to $1,000 in bonus credit plus a free pick. Head over to Underdog Fantasy today and use promo code SLEEPERS to take advantage of this amazing offer.